John Calvin on Psalm 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Having treated of the kindness of God and paid a well-merited tribute to the law, the prophet goes on to exhort the faithful to reverence God and be zealous in the keeping of the law. In calling the fear of God the beginning or source of wisdom, he charges with folly those who do not render implicit obedience unto God, as if he should say, they who fear not God, and do not regulate their lives according to his law, are brute beasts, and are ignorant of the first elements of true wisdom. To this we must carefully attend, for although mankind generally wish to be accounted wise, almost all the world lightly esteem God, and take pleasure in their own wicked craftiness. And as the very worst of men are reputed to be superior to all others in point of wisdom, and puffed up with this confidence, harden themselves against God, the prophet declares all the wisdom of the world, without the fear of God, to be vanity or an empty shadow. And indeed, all who are ignorant of the purpose for which they live are fools and madmen. But to serve God is the purpose for which we have been born, and for which we are preserved in life. There is, therefore, no worse blindness, no insensibility so groveling, as when we condemn God and place our affections elsewhere. For whatever ingenuity the wicked may possess, they are destitute of the main thing, genuine piety. Though all men, without exception, boast that they fear God, yet nothing is more common than for them to live in the neglect of his law. Hence the prophet very properly inculcates upon us the voluntary assumption of his yoke and submission to the regulations of his word as the most satisfactory evidence of our living in the fear of God. In this passage, fear is not to be understood as referring to the first or elementary principles of piety, as in 1 John 4, verse 18, but is comprehensive of all true godliness, or the worship of God. The conclusion of the psalm requires no explanation, it being the object of the prophet simply to inculcate upon the faithful that nothing is more profitable for them than to spend their lives in the celebration of the praises of God.